Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing a list of my top 10 favorite winter knitting patterns for her. I did actually just put up a video on my top 10 winter knit picks for him as well, so I can link that down below if that's something that you're interested in. And I'm hoping that I'll put out a winter knits for kids as well, and that is scheduled pretty soon. I know I have one in between this and the kids video, but it will be coming out shortly, so be on the lookout for that. I'm really excited about all of these winter knitting patterns. They're just really classic, timeless pieces, kind of involve a lot of cables and a lot of the Brooklyn tweed patterns. I've really been gravitating towards a lot of those recently, and so if that's kind of the style that you're interested in, then these picks might be good ones for you as well. So if that interests you, then keep on watching. So I'm trying to organize this list not in terms of sweaters that I like over others, but instead ones that I think would be more suitable for beginners going towards more advanced knitters. So these first couple are fairly simple, but really, really pretty as well. The first one that I wanted to share with you is the Towns sweater by Haley Smedley. This one is so pretty. It's just a very basic stockinette sweater. It does have some ribbing on the cuffs, a really wide hem edge on the bottom, and the little mock turtleneck is beautiful. I really love it. That nice oversized feel just makes it look really nice and classic, and I think that you could dress this up or down very, very easily. I love it in this kind of light tan color. It's just a really well done sweater, and I think it would be very suitable for beginners, but it does have that just really classic look that I really, really love. Another sweater that features a lot of stockinette stitch is the Oslo sweater by Petite Knit. Petite Knit is one of my favorite designers, and if you've been on this channel for a while, you probably already knew that. I actually have a list on my top 10 favorite designs that I can link down below if you want to check that out. This particular sweater was not on that list because she has so many amazing patterns. It's really hard to narrow it down to just 10. But this one is beautiful. I'm actually in the process of making it right now out of a Fiber Company Wandering Souls amble yarn. It's turning out beautifully. I really love it. And if you want to see the current progress on it, make sure to stop by for the next video on this channel, which will be my November knitting update. I'm putting that out a little bit later than I would like, but I don't know, that's just, my time has just been flying out the window. It's hard to really find time to sit down and film these, even though I really want to. So anyway, like I said, the Oslo sweater, I love it. I'm really excited to be working on it. The one thing that I would mention if you are going to cast this on yourself is that the shoulder construction is a little bit different. So when I went to do it, I was very confused on how the whole armhole situation worked, because the back is worked pretty short and then the front is worked pretty long. So then you have almost a dropped shoulder in the back here. It looks really, really nice, and if you look at the pictures a little bit closer, you can definitely see that. But when I started working on it, yeah, I was very confused. So I knit the back much longer than the instructions told me to, and that just created a little extra hiccup in my sweater making progress. So just trust the patterns. Her patterns are very, very well written, and even when I thought that they weren't, no, she knows exactly what she's doing. So love this sweater, really enjoying it. This next sweater is a little bit different than a lot of the sweaters that I've featured on this channel, but for some reason I absolutely love it, and it is the Star Sweater by Sandy Prosser. If I remember correctly, this is a Vogue knitting pattern. It's beautiful. I really love those chunky stars on it, and there is a little sneaky star on the back of the sweater as well. Really, really pretty. I would guess that it would knit up fairly quickly as well, especially if you are someone that feels comfortable with that color work. The color work is not something that I'm great at. I would like to get better at it, but it's one of those trickier things for me. But this one is so pretty, and because those shapes are fairly geometric and basic, I think I could handle this fairly well. I have done some of the Norwegian mitten knitting. I did a little headband slash cowl for my daughter Evelyn last year, so I have experience, just not a lot. So anyway, I think that this would knit up fairly quickly. It is an out of an Aran weight yarn, just really pretty sweater. I really like it. The next sweater that I wanted to share with you is a cardigan by Captain Schneider. This is Winter Lines, and it's not a Brooklyn tweed pattern. It does kind of remind me of those, and I think it would be really pretty if it were knit out of like a Brooklyn tweed yarn or a fiber company, something that's a little bit more rustic, has a little bit more grip to it. I think it'd be gorgeous. And I love cardigans just in general. I mean, I'm wearing one today. They're very easy to just toss over pretty much anything and make it into an outfit. This one I love because it has almost a geometric flair to it. It has a really pretty bat wing sleeve to it, so there's a lot of room in that underarm area, and then it really takes advantage of two ribbed textures. So there's kind of a smaller rib texture at the top, and then it goes down into a different ribbed texture. Really, really pretty. Love it. I really hope that I have time to make this. I'm going to make a massive effort to try and get as many sweaters done for myself this winter as possible. I mean, it'll probably only end up being maybe 2 sweaters, maybe 3 if I'm lucky, but yeah, love all of these things. So anyway, let's keep going. The next sweater that I wanted to share with you is the Kogel pullover by Julie Hoover. I love everything about this. Julie Hoover is another one of my favorite designers. She's got a lot of really pretty menswear and women's wear patterns. In fact, I've knit a few things for my husband that have been designed by Julie Hoover, and I almost think that I included another one of her patterns in my top 10 knits for him video as well. She just has really good design. So anyway, Kogel is so pretty. It's got almost an all over mini cable design to it. Reminds me a lot of the little baby cardigan Lear by Lisa Richardson, I think it was. And I'll link that pattern down below if you want to check it out and see what I mean. But yeah, I made that particular one for my daughter Evie when she was just a baby, so this texture really reminds me of that, really kind of gets that nostalgia going. And the way that they styled this is beautiful, having that really crisp button-down shirt underneath and then having that coat on top. Love it. I have a very similar coat in my closet actually, except it's kind of a maroon purpley color. Love it. I think it worked really well with that coat as well. So this is another one of those that I would love to make if I have time. I don't know which one will be next. I've got to finish that Oslo one and then we'll see from there. But love how this is styled. It's so pretty. Next up is the Ula sweater, and this one has a much more romantic silhouette than kind of the geometric sweaters that I seem to be drawn to this winter, but I absolutely love it. And I did try to make this earlier, but the yarn that I was using wasn't quite right. I think for this sweater, you'd want to go for something that's a little bit fuzzier, kind of a mohair sort of yarn, and the one that I was using was very just straight and flat, and it didn't quite have the same impact that I was hoping for. So the sweater itself is constructed beautifully. It has kind of an almost funnel neck at the top, and the increases are really cool as well. So there are increases almost like a raglan, but the shoulder is just one simple band, and then the increases come off of that. It has a really pretty balloon sleeve that kind of comes in early, so you have that nice long cuff. Just absolutely beautiful. I think it'd be gorgeous for the holidays if you are able to get it done that fast. I would be impressed because I cannot knit that fast, I don't think, anymore. So yeah, love it. Absolutely beautiful. And if you're looking for something that's a little bit more romantic, this is definitely the sweater for you. Next up, I wanted to share Spirally by Anna and Heidi Pickles. This one is such a nice oversized sweater. It's got a lot of room in the armhole. It has a nice big turtleneck, very cozy. And then it also, of course, features that really beautiful spiral design that goes all around the sweater. It starts off fairly small and then must increase or something so that it's going all the way around. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this, but I think it'd be a really fun one to do, and I'm really curious as to how that technique is done because, like I said, I haven't seen anything like that, so I don't know if it's like little mini cables that move it or what it is. So gorgeous, love it. would love to try and make it. Okay, so from here on out, we're basically talking about cabling, and cabling is one of those techniques that I have loved for a very long time. It was one of those first advanced techniques that I felt like I really had a master of, and ever since I've just really had a love affair of them. So the first sweater that I wanted to share with you is Cordova by Michelle Wang. Michelle Wang is another one of those designers that I really love. She has amazing menswear and women's wear patterns available. This one is absolutely beautiful. It is a Brooklyn tweed pattern, which I have talked about before. You can kind of scale back on some of the techniques that they put forward, but then you can also challenge yourself and learn some new techniques as well, which is always really fun. The sweater itself is gorgeous. I love those diagonal cables that kind of make it look like there are evergreen trees on the front and back panel. And then that is also on the top of the sleeve as well. And then there's almost a puff stitch on the side panels and under the sleeve as well. So it's just a really, really pretty sweater. Really love it. I believe that it's out of a worsted weight yarn, so it should go fairly quickly if that's something that you're curious about. But yeah, love this. Beautiful. I'd love to make it. I have another Brooklyn tweed pattern that I wanted to share with you, and this is Marrowbone by Bristol Ivy. It has a similar feel to Cordova with that diagonal cabling on it, but very, very different. So obviously this is a cardigan rather than a pullover, and then those cables are a little bit different. So rather than a straight diagonal, it's almost kind of got a rope cabling on the front panels, and then an elongated horseshoe going down the sleeves. A lot of reverse stockinette. I would say that the majority texture of this cardigan is reverse stockinette, and then it also has a couple of pockets, which I think is really cool. I don't think I've done any pockets since I did the Nazi cardigan a while back, Loved that cardigan, and I would like to do more. I think I included a couple sweaters with pockets in my top 10 winter knits for him, and so this was the one for women. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I would really like to make this one as well. The last pattern that I wanted to share with you is the one that has probably the most cabling on it, and it is Phoebe by Nora Gone. Nora Gone has amazing cabled designs. The stag head pullover comes to mind as one of the first ones. It actually looks like a reindeer that is just made up of cables. It is absolutely beautiful. I love that one. This one has cables all over the place, kind of focusing on those bubble cables. I love those. There are some larger ones, some smaller ones, and then one that kind of interweaves with itself. It's really, really cool. And all of those cables are followed through on the sleeve as well. It's just really, really pretty. Has a funnel neck to it, and then the sleeves actually stop about elbow length, which I think is really cool, a little bit unique, and just really gorgeous in general. I think that this would be really pretty out of like a cotton yarn, something that has a little bit more, more structure to it. And just gorgeous. I love it. I love everything about this. Anyway, I think that that is going to do it for my top 10 winter knitting picks for her. I absolutely love all of these, and like I said, I am going to be making a concerted effort to try and do as many of these this winter as possible. I think that all of them are just beautiful, timeless pieces that I can wear year after year after year until they eventually wear out. So that is my plan anyway. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you are interested in seeing the top 10 winter knits for him, I will leave that linked below. And if you want to see the one for kids, then that will be coming very shortly. So if you want to see that, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!